James remembered the coldness in their eyes. He remembered the heat of his fever and the emptiness of his mother's jewelry box. He remembered the soil of her sold plot of land. The law was not about morality, it was about justice. He filed the suit against the estates of Kofi and Yaw, and against the ailing Uncle Otto. The courtroom was hushed. Uncle Otto was wheeled in, an oxygen tube under his nose, his body a frail echo of the imposing man who had once stolen a widow's home. His children, James's cousins, sat in the gallery, their faces a mixture of shame and defiance. James presented his case with a cold, precise fury. He showed the company documents, the property deeds, the financial records that proved his father's sole ownership. He presented the bank records showing the accounts emptied. He called his mother to the stand, and with a dignity that silenced the room, he simply stated, "They took everything from us when I had just lost my husband. They left me with nothing but a sick son." The defense was weak, built on crumbing lies and the frail, rasping testimony of Uncle Otto. The judge, a stern woman with sharp eyes, saw through it entirely. The gavel fell, judgment for the plaintiff. James had won. The properties that hadn't been sold were to be returned. The proceeds from those that had were to be repaid with interest from the estates. There was no celebration in him. He walked out of the cool courtroom into the across sun. His cousins hurried past him, avoiding his gaze, wheeling their broken father away. Later that evening, he stood outside the hospital room. He pushed the door open. Uncle Otto lay in the dim light, his breathing a shallow rasp. The old man's eyes fluttered open, clouded with pain and medication. He recognized James. "You," he rasped, "you have your victory over a dying man." James looked at the shell of the man who had once been a giant of his nightmares. The fury that had sustained him for 16 years finally cooled, leaving behind a strange, empty calm. "It was never a victory over you," James said, his voice quiet but firm. "It was a victory for my father, for my mother. It was for her jewelry and her land." He paused, watching the feeble rise and fall of the man's chest. "The law does not care if you are sick. It only cares if you are guilty." He turned and left, closing the door softly on the past. He walked out to where his mother was waiting for him in the car. He had given her back more than property. He had given her back her dignity. And finally, after all the years of study and struggle, the 10-year-old boy inside him, sick and scared, could finally rest, his promise kept.